I have a very special episode for you guys this week. I was able to sit down and have a really great conversation with friends of ours, Jamey and Ginger. They are having a fundraiser that's going on this Saturday, and so Ginger and I decided it'd be a great time for them to come on. Let's sit down, let's talk about life, let's talk about the fundraiser, and let's talk a little bit about marriage. So I'm really excited for you to hear our conversation, so I hope you enjoy it. So, hey everybody, we are doing a special podcast today, and I have my friends here, Jamey and Ginger Lancaster, or Lancaster. This is the third time I'm going over this at this point. Y'all, I'm nervous today. Like, I don't know. I'm very nervous. Jamey scares me for some reason. I don't know why.
He's a big teddy bear.
It makes me nervous. Anyway, so this is a very special episode. They are friends of ours, and they are having a fundraiser this weekend. And Ginger and I, we're in the igloo. I think we had the conversation while we were in the igloo, right? And about coming on and talking about this. And I thought this is a fantastic idea because, first of all, you know, it's life's little arguments. And if I were to pick out one couple that I'm like, they just don't argue, you guys would be one of the couples that I would name, because you guys, at least from the outside looking in, like, I mean, like, you guys are it. Like, you guys are goals. Because you guys have been married for how long?
22 years. Be 23 years this year.
In August.
That's a long time. And there have been a lot of, I'm sure, probably ups and downs, and we know definitely some really, really tough things that you guys have gone through. But Ginger, why don't you tell us about the fundraiser, what it is, how it came about, all of that good stuff.
Okay. Well, we knew very early on after Bree passed that we wanted to do something to honor her. And her passion was dance. Mm-hmm. She had been doing competitive dance. She had been mentoring some younger dancers through the program, and she just was in love with dancing. Most recently, she had made the dance team at the high school in Hawkinsville and was just having the time of her life dancing. Mm-hmm. And so I said, well, why don't we do a scholarship? Mm-hmm. And there's so many girls that love to dance, and they can't always do it.
It is expensive, right?
Oh my gosh.
Because of how much it costs, especially if you want to do competitive.
Because it's not just like one dance class. Like, you got to know all the different types, right?
Yes.
These girls train like professional athletes.
Yeah.
Growing up as the oldest of four boys, I had no idea. These girls are serious athletes.
Yeah.
And they put in a lot of time and effort, and the parents put in a lot of time and money.
Yes, they do.
And so, like Ginger said, we just wanted to help out.
So we decided to start a scholarship, and so that we could identify girls that might need help, whether it was with some of their classes or with some of the competition fees, or things like that. And Bree's coach was very hands-on, and she was able to help me navigate who would need those resources that we would have. And so we decided Cornhole Tournament actually came from a friend of ours who said, well, we could do a cornhole tournament. Everybody in Middle Georgia loves cornhole.
That's right.
And we could bring people out, and we could get some sponsors. We could do some raffle items, things like that. And so it was kind of small the first year because we kind of did a crunch time and tried to do it really quick.
Yeah.
And so from that, though, the last few times we've actually had Kyle Davis. He does the Wartown Cornhole every Monday night at the VFW.
Okay.
So he has a whole system where he knows how to do brackets and set people up, and he has really helped us maneuver that portion of it.
You gotta have somebody who knows how to do all that.
And then we have different levels of sponsorship. And I'm really excited this year because we're also going to be able to do 2 scholarships for a high school senior.
That's great.
Bree went to Fullington Academy for a few years and actually was on a dance team at Brittany's Dance Academy there first. That's where she first really fell in love with dance.
Yeah.
Down in Pinehurst. And then we're going to do $1,000 scholarship for a senior at Fullington Academy. And then we're also going to do a $1,000 scholarship for a senior at Hawkinsville High School. So the two schools that she attended through most of her elementary, middle, and high school. So I'm really excited. They will have to write an essay, and we're going to have multiple people judge those. So, but I'm excited because being able to honor her and also bless someone else is what makes my heart full.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and today would have been Bree's 18th birthday.
18.
And so today's kind of a special day and a bittersweet day for us. And, you know, our daughter just wouldn't have wanted us to just be remembered for, you know, her loss. Our family be remembered for her loss. So we made a pact pretty quickly, actually right there, the day it happened. We made a pact that we would not only not let this tear us down, but we would look for something positive out of it. Even, you know, we're going to have our negative days, right? But we made that commitment to look for something positive to come of it, and we committed to that. And Ginger's been the real workhorse on this, and like I said when we were off camera, you know, I'm kind of the bull in the china shop kind of guy. So
which is why I was scared.
I'm either taking something over or I've got to take a really far back seat, and she's just so much better at this that I just have been in awe of how well she's handled it and put it together, and it's really amazing to be a part of.
That's fantastic.
We just have a lot of people and businesses in our community that, you know, they don't have to know her personally or really even us that well personally. And we've just had a really huge response of people that want to participate, whether it's donating a raffle item or whether it's a sponsorship or just come into play. So this year, for the first time, we did T-shirts with all the sponsors on the back.
Oh, nice.
So we're excited about that. And it's getting to be like a really, really fun event for everyone in the family. And we have food trucks, and it's just something that we really enjoy. So
That's fantastic. So when and where is it?
okay, it's going to be this Saturday at the VFW building on Quarter Road.
Okay.
We just decided to do it there the past few years due to you don't have to worry about what the weather's like, cold, hot, sunny,
Oh, so
rain.
it's inside?
It's inside.
Okay, that's nice.
It's inside, and it's the same building they use every Monday night for cornhole. So a lot of the players already know exactly where to go, what to do. And it start registration at about 11:15, 11:30, and we'll start playing at 12.
So if somebody, is it like too late for them to
No,
get
it is
into
not.
it?
Nope,
Okay.
you can just show up
Okay.
Saturday. And we actually this year for the first time have a competition bracket and a fun bracket.
So,
Okay.
So if you're a pro, you go to the
Yeah, so
competition
I'm
one.
not just like one and done as far as this goes.
Right.
Well, I mean, I could be still, but you know, there's a chance.
Yeah. Our thought process was, you know, from our experience the last couple of years is that, you know, the pairing, you know, is a team event and you're paired randomly.
Okay.
And sometimes we would, you know, I'm not good. So I would get paired with somebody really good and they're put out first round.
Yeah.
You know, and so that we didn't think that was fair. So we've been blessed to have enough people to where we can split it into two competitions where we have just a fun one and
That's
a
fantastic.
serious
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I'm good. That's kind of like bowling for me. I'm good for like one game, and then my arm is just like shot. That's it. I'm like, go out. I gotta go out while I'm on top. You know.
And we also, anyone that wants to purchase raffle tickets, they can contact me or Jamie, and you do not have to be there to win. You can just tell us how many you want, and we can put your name on them. And
you want to talk about
let you know.
what we have to raffle
we
and what the
have,
prizes
so the minimum I think that we have is like a $50 item, and we have all the way up to items up to $200. So we have, I know we have a basket donated by Nest and Nook, Miss Jennifer Bliss.
Cool.
We have a Durden's from Perry gift card for 100.
Nice.
We have a Bow Ties and Buttons Boutique in Hawkinsville. She donated a $75 gift certificate. We have M&T Meat Company did a $50 gift card. We've got sorry, Pulaski Brewing Company. They are out of Hawkinsville. She did a huge basket. It has different types of coffees in it, and it has a mug and a T-shirt.
We've got to go
wine-infused
down
coffee.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got to go down there sometime.
And she also owns a tanning salon in Hawkinsville. So she did like a month of unlimited visits. So she did that for us too. And then we have hats donated by Southbound Hat Company. Several hats that we'll be raffling off.
They make good hats too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've gotten Kent one or two of those. So.
I started to steal a couple.
Yeah.
And I know there's a few more. I'll definitely be I'll do lives.
Yes.
We'll definitely give
they're
shout
on your,
outs
they're
Saturday.
on your Facebook
Yes,
and everything.
yes.
Yeah.
Then the winning prizes.
Yes. So right now for the competition bracket, we're going to be doing first place gets $300, second place $200, and third place $100. And for the fun bracket, depending on how many people register, but right now I think it's going to be first place $100, second place $75, and third place $50.
Awesome.
So yeah, so it'll be fun.
So it's really growing.
Yes.
It is really getting to be a big thing.
Yeah, and you know, to us, it's more about the fun. We're able to help support these girls and the scholarship for dance and the scholarship for college, but we want to keep it fun. And we may end up branching out into a golf tournament or something like that. We've kicked around a few ideas, but the main thing is that we just want to keep it fun and friendly and have a family environment. And Ginger's done a really good job with that. So
She has. She did a really good job at that. Do you know what? Did you say food trucks were going to be there? There's
Yes,
some
we're
food
going to
trucks?
have Salsa's Mexican Grill, and then we're going to have Johnson Brothers and Sisters Barbecue. So,
Okay, awesome.
Yep, good choices.
So it's not too late. They can just show up the day
That's
of,
right.
right?
You just show up. Even if you just want to come out, it's fun.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to play cornhole, you just want to come out and have some good food and get some tickets for the raffle. Just hang out. We would love to have anybody that would like to show up.
Yeah.
It's a fun time.
That's fantastic. So make sure, guys, if you haven't, if you don't have plans, go ahead and let's plan on everybody showing up on Saturday, supporting this really great cause, because then some other young ladies are going to be able to do dance that probably wouldn't have been able to, or maybe not be able to take as many classes. Possibly, because like I said, I watch So You Think You Can Dance. I know all
Right.
these, you can't just be good at like jazz or like,
Right.
what's the one called? What's the one? It's not called drama. It's not called
Let's see.
theatrical.
There's contemporary dance.
Yes,
lyrical.
contemporary. Yes. There's so many.
Yeah, and I know like Bree's, both coaches, like if you were going to do competitive dance, whether you were doing a tap or a lyrical or contemporary dance, a requirement was a ballet class.
Okay.
Because it's fundamental for all the other types of dance.
Oh,
like
okay.
it teaches you like how to have straight lines with your arms and flexibility and being graceful. So they required you to have ballet
Yeah.
too.
So that's what Bruno's always talking about when he's
Yes.
doing the lovely,
Right.
sexy. Yeah. So you got to have all that. So that's fantastic, and I'm really glad that you guys are able to do that. I think that's honestly, when I look at you guys and I see how you are, and the fact of like this brings you joy, it's very inspiring. It makes me it sparks emotion. It makes me emotional as well. And that's obviously always like, okay, like this is a good thing. This is a really amazing thing. And so to watch you guys, like you said, Jamie, making the pact to each other to. Can you just explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a car accident, and it was sudden, and we knew that that our family was at a precipice. It was at a fork where we could either let something like this tear us completely down and us not be worth anything to each other anymore, or we could stop right there on the side of the road and make that promise to each other that we wouldn't let that happen, that we would find the positivity in this, because everybody has troubles. Every single person on this earth has something that they could use as an excuse to be, worthless and just not get anything done. And we have those days, but the promise of our family and the needs that all of our extended family, they that pulls us together and pulls us up, and it forces us daily to look for something, some positivity to come out of this, whether it's talking to somebody else who suffered, whether it's lifting each other up, whether it's just staying busy in this kind of task to to try to help other girls. It helps us grieve in a way that's healthy. And there's all kinds of ways. I'm not saying that, somebody getting down in the dumps and being depressed, it happens. It happens to us. But
Right.
but that promise for us and that pact together is what pulls us out of those days where we have bad days. And so we just have always been that way with each other. We've always known that there were going to be bad days. We didn't know how bad, but
Yeah. Well, and I think that another thing Jamie said a couple weeks after was, because I realized the days that I was at home alone by myself were not great for me. I needed to start, if I had a day off of work, I needed to start filling it with some things. Not that I didn't want to allow myself to grieve, but I knew that if I did, I would still need to have something to pull me back out again. And so he said something about 2 weeks in and I said, I'm just starting to feel just like I'm falling in a hole. And he said, you know what? We're going to have to intentionally do things to make us feel alive.
Right.
Not just be alive, but do things that make us feel alive. And I think us knowing that we want to do that, not that we don't get in a rut, even just in marriage in general, or not that you don't get complacent or lazy or have depressed days, but that's always in the back of my mind. I got to do something to make myself feel alive. I got to do something fun, or I've got to do something with Carson that he loves, or go with Riley somewhere. Like, it just is doing something, taking action in a positive way so that I continue to make sure that I'm feeling alive, because otherwise
she says I a lot, but that's not accurate, because most of the time she's recognizing it in us. She's looking at her husband and her son and her daughter, and she's saying, I need to get busy for them. And so she says I a lot, but honestly she recognizes when we need to get out and be a family and do fun things and be alive. And
Yeah, I've never known Ginger to be focused on herself. Is always focusing on other people and what other people need, and providing that. So yeah, I completely get that.
Well, and I think the reason I say the I is when I know that I'm feeling it, I know they are too.
Right.
And so it's, if I'm getting that, I'm getting down, we got to do something. I got to do something. It's like, okay, let's go bowling, or let me plan a trip, or, something that we can enjoy together, because it would be very easy on some days to sink. And we just said, we're not going to let that happen. We're just not going to allow our family to be torn apart.
yeah.
We're going to make sure that we stay positive, and Carson being around definitely makes that a lot easier for me, because we're together a lot, traveling to work and school, and that, his just fun, happy, we listen to music. So like, there's a lot of little things that you can find joy in, and just hang on to those things.
As parents, we don't always know if we're doing things right, but you get a child, because Carson was he was 6, yeah, when it happened, and it can really be a negative impact on them. But the way we've handled it, and I'm not saying we're perfect, but the way we've handled it, he just doesn't. He's like, what's the big deal? I still love her. She's still a part of our life, and I still remember her, and she's in a better place, and it's no big deal to him, because we that's what we taught him, and that's what we modeled. And so I don't know.
And
we may not get everything right, but I feel like we're getting that far
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Yeah, because he'll just, I've never made it like, I don't want to talk about Bree, or we can't talk about this, or we can't talk about that. He has always, in fact, I feel sometimes that because of how children are, he's more open to talking about her and
Right.
what he misses and what he remembers. And, he doesn't really have that, let me close the world off.
Right.
As we become adults, we complicate things a
Yeah.
lot. And we just tend to and he's just so, let's talk, or sometimes we'll get in the hot tub and he'll say, let's play our Bree songs. And so I'll turn on the Bree songs and we'll just laugh. And so it's just making sure that even when we have those moments, because you're going to have them and they're going to hit you from out of nowhere. And sometimes they come in waves and they last a little bit longer, but knowing how to pull us back up, pull us all back up.
And I think that's probably a microcosm for our whole entire marriage, is where we've handled things. Is we met later in life. I say later.
I was going to say it wasn't too late.
She was 28 or 20.
27.
I was 28. You were 29.
Over the hill.
27. Love you.
So 2001.
Yes.
I was 26. You were 27, and we.
That's right. You are older than
Yes,
you're
I am.
Same. Okay,
5 months older than him.
Yeah.
Full year.
He likes to.
Yes, because
make
we're
that
born
known,
in different
right?
years.
Yes.
Right. She was born in 74. I was born in
Point that
74.
out whenever he can.
Yes.
And we had some baggage, both of us. I told her if she had met me a year earlier, we wouldn't have been together. She wouldn't even like me, because I just wasn't mature enough to be to take care of somebody. And we came to a place where we just knew we were supposed to take care of each other, and that was kind of how we've approached our entire marriage. Is that we've had to give each other grace from the start, and trust each other, let each other make mistakes. I think that's the biggest thing, is that we've allowed each other to just mess up. And
That's huge.
Because so many people try to control each other, and we just never really have. We let each other mess up, and we make it get in, and I told you so afterwards. But it's with love, and we look out for each other, safety wise. But I mean, I'm not always right, and neither is she. And I think her biggest thing she taught me was right at the beginning. She said, we've got to decide if we want to be right or if we want to be happy. And so that has always stuck with me.
And my mom used to ask me that.
That actually, I need you to look at the camera and say that one more time, because I think I'm gonna cut just that part out and I'm gonna send it to Kent.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've even, told Riley this a lot of times. Sometimes you do get in any relationships, friendships, marriage, work relationships, we get so caught up in whose fault was it? Mm-hmm. Who messed up? Who did this wrong? Who did that wrong? And a lot of times, if you ask yourself, does that part really matter? And learning to will this matter in 2 weeks? And being able to apologize, even if you don't think you're the one that was wrong, just say, I'm so sorry we argued about that. Just being able to show that person that I'm willing to reconcile this and for it to be over without there being fault.
Right.
Yeah. At our house, that just means I have to let her blow her top.
Well, yeah. That's
Okay,
true.
well, I'm glad to hear that, because I blow my top pretty frequently, and so it's become the norm, I think, here. So I'm not the only one that does that.
Jamie's definitely the calm, let's talk about this rationally person in
about
our
an hour.
relationship. And I'm the, just let me get all this out and then I'm going to be okay. Yeah. But I got to get it all out. And then I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. And then I'm done. I feel like I'm pretty good about not holding on to things. Like in the first years of our marriage, I would tend to throw things, keep a record of wrongs, and throw
Right.
things if we were back in his face. And then as you start trusting more and communicating more and talking about everything, it just starts becoming like, that's not a good thing to do. Like if I'm wanting forgiveness, I need to give him that same forgiveness. I don't want things brought up and put in my face.
Yeah.
So you just start to realize that that's not really a good thing for us in general. But there's just times I need to vent and get something out, and he listens, and
He doesn't think he has to fix it?
he'll give advice, but he won't be like,
There's
do
not-
this
when
or
she's blowing
you
her
need
top,
to do
there's no-
that.
there's no advice. To give.
He lets me
I'm
get it
just
all
like,
out.
I know what this is.
Uh-huh.
And which
We had to
sometimes
learn that, though.
Sometimes that'll tick her off too. But so I listen to her and and then I'm like, all right, go ahead and finish because
Yeah.
we'll talk about this in about an hour. Mm-hmm. And usually it's okay. But
That came with years.
it's
Yeah.
never something that's not true. It's not like she's making something up. It just caught her wrong, or she had a rough day or something where it just got on her and
just hit,
she
yep.
needed to vent.
Yep.
And I'm her person, so if she can't vent to me, then who can she vent to?
And that's so important right there. That
Yeah.
is so very important. And I think you have to learn how to fight, but the the being able to vent to your partner, I don't need you sometimes to fix it. I just need you to listen.
Yes.
And it's so important because if I'm not venting to you, who am I going to vent to? That can lead to problems. So it's really, really important.
Right.
Yeah, we've never really fought a bunch. We disagree, but it's rare that we disagree. Most of the time, when we have a loud conversation or anything that's could be considered an argument, it's more just she wanted this, she had this in her mind, and I had something different, and we didn't discuss it.
Or my plan A didn't work out and I really didn't have a plan B.
So,
Never.
Right. So I pout.
and I don't plan at home because I plan every day, all day at work, and I just refuse to be that way at home. So, but I think what else has kept us together and kept us happy is that we've recognized when we need to focus on each other romantically. Mm-hmm. We went, like I said, we met later on in life, and I was a general contractor, and she was a real estate agent when we met, and so she came to me, and this was 2003.
I was pregnant with Riley.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, 2002, 2003, right after we got married. And she says, what happens if something happens to the housing industry? And I said, well, we're screwed, because we're both in that same industry. And so she wanted to go back to school, and so she decided to be a pharmacist. And I supported her on that. Honestly, I had all I knew was that she was pretty and had terrible taste in men. And so I had no idea she was smart. So I was like, really, pharmacist? But she killed it. She absolutely killed it. And I was super proud of her. But it affected our marriage because, I sold my business to follow her. So that was, and it was something that I loved doing. I loved getting out and working. And so, but selling the business to move our family to support her dream was something that it took a lot to do.
Right.
But it was something that she needed, and our family needed. And even though I didn't necessarily 100% agree with it, I knew that she had our best intentions, and I knew we'd be fine. But fast forward, 8 years into our marriage, she's been in school this whole time, and in rotations, and we weren't dating. We weren't.
Right.
We were just parents. We weren't Jamey and Ginger anymore.
Yes.
We were just parents, and so. We bought one of our final houses. I think we had rented a few houses and bought a couple of houses to flip, but we bought a house and we were gonna be settled, right? And she had her first pharmacy job, and And we just sat down and said, look, we're not dating anymore. So let's start dating
Yeah.
again. And we were 8 years deep in our marriage, and we just turned it on. We just decided to start going back out again and talking, and it has been, that's been something that we've tried to focus on. We probably need to start doing that again, though. Yeah.
Well, and I know I explained to the girls when we would first start deciding we were going on dates, and I told them, I said, do you have a best friend at school? And they both were like, well, yeah. And I said, well, what would happen if you never talked to them or spent like special time with them? Well, we wouldn't be friends probably. I said, that's exactly right. Your daddy and I are best friends. And while I was in school for years and y'all were young, we had to take care of you. Daddy traveled some for work. We didn't have time to date. And now we do have time to date. And that's what we're going to do, because once y'all leave, if we don't, we won't be best friends anymore.
Yeah.
We may not even recognize each other.
Yeah.
And they were both like, okay. Like, made perfect sense. And thank goodness we both have very, very close and supportive moms. And we would just ask them if they could keep them when we wanted a date night, and nothing fancied, but just time to just talk and catch up again.
Yeah, it's
know?
so important.
And flirt.
Yes. Because this is so ridiculous that I'm fixing to say this, but these freaking dogs, like
No, I
it's
can tell.
literally like, I mean, clearly, literally like children like that. That if we have to literally get out of the house, and we went to these the infrared sauna. And it was a social sauna, so we both could be in it together.
Yeah.
And we literally didn't talk, but it was the most we just needed that time to connect. And it's crazy. And it's sad to me to see that there's so many couples out there that they don't think about that. It was on the radio or somewhere, and there was a pastor talking, and he was saying that he's like, if you let me take a picture. He brought this family up on the stage, and a mom and dad and 2 kids. And he said, okay, y'all get together and let's take a picture. So they get together and take the picture. Well, it's mom, dad, and the 2 kids in the middle. And he said, okay, now let's take the kids out, and mom and dad, I want you to stay there. And they do. And they're like, now look at that visual. Like when the kids are gone, like you're at opposite ends possibly. And if you're not doing that dating like you're talking about, you really don't. These people get to empty nest phase, and they're like, oh, who are you? This is scary.
Yes.
Scary. So it's it's so important.
You have to definitely be intentional about it, and definitely plan for it. And
Intentional is a good word. That's really something we use a lot.
It is so good. That's such a good word.
Yeah.
Because it's not just kids. It's, life and bills and, everything that's coming at you that you're not necessarily expecting. And next thing you know.
Yeah. You can let just about anything get in the way of each other. I mean, I've got friends who would rather go golf all day than be around their wife or do all these things. And I'm just lucky that I don't feel that way. I just would rather be with her. And that's mostly just because she flirts with me. Still.
How does she flirt? Well, what's an example? Is it just like right now, just smiling at you? Like she's smiling at you, so cute right now.
Yeah. I mean, she'll just say little things at work, like, I can't wait to see you. I miss you today. Things like that. I'll say the same thing. We flirt pretty hard.
I need to be better about that.
And like he has to travel some for work, and like I had a conference, so anytime one of us is out of town, I'll be like, here's your good morning, and send him a picture of me smiling, or we just to keep that contact. And so
I'm getting the vibes over here. I'm getting the warm fuzzies over here.
maybe other pictures too.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't going to bring it up, but
We won't
since
talk about that.
Yeah. Well, we talk about it all the time on this podcast.
Gentleman never tells.
That's right. That's right. Well,
No, we don't get it right. We have our bad days, and we have days where we're not connected. We do, but after 22 and a half years, it's the recognizing when that's going on and being intentional about fixing it. Because if you're not, you'll get into a rut, and that rut will take you in two separate directions. And,
Yeah.
and it's super easy. I see it all the time. And we just are going to be intentional about.
And one thing I like is I never have to worry about, like, I can be transparent with him. I can straight up say, today is a really sad day for me. I don't even know why. I just woke up feeling sad. I might get home and ask him, like, can you just hold me for like 10 minutes? I'm having a sad day. And then sometimes it's an angry day. Sometimes it's, I'm great and I'm doing great. Like, I loved yesterday and today because I was able to deliver the scholarship applications to the schools. And so that's like makes me really excited. But knowing that I don't have to hide any of those days or emotions or feelings from him or make him guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want him to have to guess.
Right.
Or think he's done something or anybody else has done something to make me feel that way. Because sometimes it's just, that's how I feel today. And him being able to, he recognizes it usually without me even having to say anything. But knowing that I don't ever have to feel guilty or bad if I'm sad or if I'm angry, I can just tell him and we can talk about it.
Well, that's how grief goes, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't end.
No.
It doesn't just one day stop.
No. And I would say navigating that because Riley wasn't an adult then, but she is now. And so navigating where we all are on certain days has been probably to me the biggest challenge because we all handle it a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the beginning, I was posting a lot on Facebook about my feelings and how my grief was and how my journey was with grief. My hope was so I could help someone else.
Right.
And that helped me to think that I could be helping someone. And Jamie and Riley actually tend to be more similar as far as
we're not open to that.
They want to withdraw
my grief is private.
Yeah.
Right.
So I want to feel it, but I don't want you to be a part of it.
Right.
I don't want anybody to be a part of it. It's mine. It's personal. It's very private, and I just don't enjoy anybody being a part of that. Except Ginger, and even then I keep it from her a lot. Like I'll call her after and say, hey, I had a good cry today, or I just broke down today. I won't even say much. That'll be it.
You're right.
And she's like, really? Why didn't you share that? Why weren't you? I want to be there when that happens, kind of deal. And it's just that people grieve different, and you have to allow them to be human.
Yes,
and be different. And everybody's got their own way of dealing with it. So.
And I think we've learned a lot with that by even with Riley allowing the freedom to that we're not going to tell you to snap out of how you feel right now. Or, if it was going on for weeks at a time, I would try to help pull you out. But you kind of do have to figure out how to do that on your own. And I genuinely finally feel like I've seen her in the past few months, things that would be triggers and are still triggers for her. But I've watched her be able to make a decision to do something so that doesn't take her down.
That's fantastic. Mm-hmm. That's big.
Yes, it is. I mean, it's huge as her mom to watch her be able to.
We're different parenting styles. She likes to be Riley's best friend, mm-hmm. and I have to be we're friends, but I have to be the disciplinarian too. So it's one of those things where we kind of complement each other. We really round out what she needs. She does need a good friend who has her best interest, and mm-hmm. but she also needs that tough, wipe your face off,
right? Let's
do this kind of thing. And I'm always been no nonsense with her. I'm like, look, we all have grief, but bad behavior has consequences. If you need therapy, we'll do the therapy. We'll do whatever. But that has to be separate from bad behavior. Because if I start letting you say this is an excuse for how you acted, then you get away with it, then you're going to think that later on in life. And she went down that road, and once she started realizing there was consequences, she's really kind of grown up from it.
Yeah.
Which is what everybody does. Is we have things happen to us, and we just become adults from it. And you can either be a well-rounded adult that has seen what the actions and reactions are, or you're somebody who's sheltered and has to figure it out over years and years and years and years. And we just have gotten lucky with our parenting styles sort of complementing each other.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably the one thing that we probably fuss over more than anything.
Probably so.
Is how we.
That's hard.
Yeah, I mean
it's
it
real
is
hard because it's hard to be the disciplinarian, and it's that's not fun.
And I love her mama heart. I love her mama heart. I do. It is probably the most attractive thing about my beautiful wife. And you see the package, but she's a amazing mama, and so I don't want to take that from her, but at the same time, she's got to not be.
I've had to have tough love, and I've done at the times that I needed to. At the times where he's like, this one needs tough love. Like, I'm telling you, we have to be on the same page with this, and it has to be tough love. And I was able to do that, but it took a lot,
That's
and it
hard.
took a lot of
it might have been an argument to get there, but she would come back around and say, "Yeah, you're right." Mm-hmm. Eventually,
I knew he was right. I
Yeah,
just didn't know
it's
if
just
I'd
hard.
be capable of it.
Right.
I don't die on every hill. So when I do speak up and say, "Hey,
Yes.
I'm putting my foot down.
Yeah,
This is it,"
she
she knows
knows.
I'm serious, and she might not agree, and she might blow her top for an hour or two or a day or two, but eventually she's like, "You're right. Maybe I do need to try that." Because it's just not that often that I put my foot down.
Yeah.
I just don't have to. She's super smart, and she has a really different way of doing things, but it works. So I'm like, all right, you're right.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
It's hard. It's hard to discipline and see your children. It's hard to see your children hurt.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then when you have to be tough on something, it's God. I mean, when what's the saying? My mom used to be like, "This hurts me more than it hurts
Right.
you," and
Yeah.
you thought, "There's no
You're
way."
crazy.
And then you have kids, you're like, "Oh my God, they were right."
Yes.
Like, it hurts so bad.
Yeah. It's not being the job of being a parent is a very difficult job because you have to make decisions that are best for them, but it's going to hurt them. Telling a child no is a difficult thing, and it's something they have to know, they have to experience it now, because if they don't,
It's going to be a tough road
Yes.
ahead.
right.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, I think you guys have been, I can only assume, I'm making some assumptions, that you guys for sure have impacted other couples that, have gone through this. I don't know if you've interacted with many other couples that, have gone through what you've gone through. I only know, what you guys have shared with me, and, to hear you guys, I personally love that. Like, I know I can talk to you guys about that. I know I can, say Bree's name and, say this to you or that to you. And that you always smile. It always brings a smile to your face. And you love to talk about that.
And I think that's so important to me, because in the beginning it's like if you start to go out with your friends again. I remember when I finally could pull Jamey, because before Bree passed, he really was more the social person than me. Mm-hmm. And then it was like he did a 180 and would have been fine if we just stayed at the house, which I understood.
Because I felt like the guy who lost his daughter everywhere
Right.
I went. I was the guy I wasn't Jamey anymore.
Right.
I was the guy whose daughter passed away.
Yeah, and he said, I just want to
Just
be
tired of talking about it.
Jamey. I just want to be Jamey again. And I said, you're so right, because you don't want your whole identity to become, oh, she lost her daughter. Oh, they lost their daughter, and that's all people think of when they see you.
And at first it's a lot, and you have the right to say that's enough, and that's just kind of where I was, and it wasn't right because I did miss out on opportunities to witness to people and just say and model how we were doing things, and I just didn't want to go and do it. But unfortunately, we have had friends who have experienced this and met other people who've gone through these kind of loss, and I will say that that we don't have the right answer. Sometimes you might just need to talk to somebody. So I don't know if anybody out there needs to talk to you. You can look us up and find us. I'll be glad to talk to you. If you're a woman, talk to Ginger. If you're a guy, call me. We'll go have a drink or do something outside or just sit and talk. I mean, I'm willing to listen to anybody and share what little wisdom I have, or just listen to you. So that's how we're supposed to be.
Well, and we have mutual friends who have also lost children, and so I think I latched on to Crystal, and we have an unbreakable bond, and we have from the beginning. And I think a lot of it is because I know I don't have to hold back with her, or she won't feel awkward or weird if I talk about Bree openly,
Right.
and she can talk about Daniel openly. So a lot of times you just don't know how you're going to make someone else feel if I start telling a story about Bree or talking about her. And I don't like to make other people feel uncomfortable. I really do not. And so I remember when I went back to work, which I've been there. It's my only pharmacist job I've had. And so I've been there 14 years now. So my team, I remember somebody said something and it just made me think of something about Bree, and I just, and then afterwards I stopped and I said, I need to go ahead and just ask y'all, like, does it make y'all feel uncomfortable at all? And they were all like, not at all. Like, we want to hear all your stories about her and every memory you want to share with us. And so it's just great to have those, I guess, soft places to land where you can always say something if it pops in your head, or share a story about her or a memory, and not have to feel like this is awkward.
And I think that's easier for ladies to do. So like I said, if you're a guy and you are having trouble talking about stuff or need something I need to talk to, reach out to me. I will talk to you about anything, and it will stay right between us.
And in the beginning too, it was on my heart because I knew how it was affecting me, and her friends are 14, 15, 16.
Yeah, I remember you did a lot with her friends. They were around, and
Yes, because I thought these to me they're babies.
Right.
Like these teenagers have no idea how to understand the why things like this happen, and how are we supposed to feel about this. And we went up to the school, and even after that, I just felt like if they even just wanted to share their friendships with me about her and share memories and be able to talk about her. And I just wanted them to just have someone that if they just wanted to talk about something or how they were dealing with it, or because grief's hard, and especially at that age, there's so much thrown at them already, and then such the shock of it, and not being able to say goodbye to someone is really difficult. So,
well, that's fantastic, and that you brought up Crystal, and that's the first thing I said it about you, and that's the very first time I met Crystal, she started talking about Daniel, and that was the biggest impression. I told her that last time I was around her, is that's the biggest impression that you have made on me, is how you want to talk about him, and that drives how I navigate the relationship with you. Like, I know this is okay. This
right.
is you want to do this, so I know that's okay. So It's really helpful from somebody like from the outside,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
looking in or to you guys or however. But I have really enjoyed this. Was there anything that you thought maybe that we would talk about that we didn't, or anything else that you guys want to say?
I don't know. I know that most of your topics are relationship stuff, so I didn't. I feel like we did talk about our kids a lot and things that we've been through. Are there any relationship questions you might have for somebody that's been married for 23 years? To maybe the kind of a butthole, because she's probably got all the answers for that.
Stop. No, to me, it's just like I said before, just being able to talk about how I'm feeling at any given time and know that you're not going to look at me and judge me or tell me I'm crazy for feeling something a certain way. And
whatever. We already know how Jamie feels about you. Like he can't even try to lie about this.
Well, people think I'm weird. I don't wear a ring. I never wear my wedding ring.
You don't need one.
But if you're around me for 5 minutes, I'm talking about my wife.
Yeah.
And so
never for 1 second have ever doubted, literally.
But I worked construction, and I had a guy get injured on the job with a wedding ring, and I made it where my guys didn't wear them anymore. And then I got just where jewelry bothered me, and so I just haven't done it. But I think that whether you wear a ring or not, you should represent your wife and your spouse everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And so I try to do that. I don't do it very well sometimes, but I will. She makes it easy, so yeah.
I think you absolutely do. I think you both do. And I think that's something that I also appreciate about Kent is I really do feel like, whether I'm there or not, like people know that's my husband.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a question about it. Yeah. And I think that is so important. If you need to make your spouse feel that secure.
Yes.
Well, Kent and I both, to be honest, we outkicked our coverage. So
True statement.
That does help a lot. So
whatever. No. So do you guys have any funny stories about either each other or anything that you've ever experienced together, or anything that is like silly, or a toxic trait? Like we like to talk about our toxic traits on here. Mine is I'm always late. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. I'm always late. Kid, it drives him crazy
to get dressed, because she's getting dressed an hour early. She's getting all her stuff, and I'm like, hey, let me know when you're 5 minutes out.
Because he thinks it takes him 5 minutes to shower and get ready.
Interesting.
Yes.
It takes 7, so I'm like, close.
Sure. When you were 5.
But wait, does it bother you to be late?
No.
It does not bother. Same.
I prefer to be late.
We're the same people. But what about you? You can't stand
it to be late.
Okay.
My dad was a pastor, and so
15 minutes early was
for
late.
church, like Sunday school church, everything was 15 minutes early. So that just filtered over into everything.
Yeah.
Like you're early for anything and everything. If it's important to you, you'll get there.
That's not really the case, though. I can tell you, it's very important. I want to be there on time. I just can't. It does not matter.
I would say that probably is your toxic trait.
Yeah.
I can't really think of anything else.
Yours is laundry.
Yes. Laundry's my therapy. I usually have to do at least one load a night. It's just I want it done a certain way, and I like it done a certain way.
Way is weird.
And I like it.
Wait, what's the way? What makes it weird?
She has to, we live in the modern age, right? These dryers will let you know when your clothes are dry, or even damp dry, right? Not hers. She's got to go check every 5 minutes and check and pull out something that's close, shake it out, hang it up so she doesn't have to iron it.
Yep, because I hate ironing, so I just check the...
So drying clothes is like an hour and a half event.
So he calls it my therapy because I have to do it quite often.
That sounds exhausting, Ginger.
I'm the oldest of 4 boys, and my mom worked several jobs, right? And so when she came home, we had all the laundry done because if not, we were going to get it. And so we washed 2 to 3 loads a day because we're boys and we just ruined stuff. And so I knew how to do laundry, but not
I don't
how
let
she
anybody
does
do
it. So every now and then when I'm wanting some romance, I'll have the house clean and I'll have the laundry done, and she doesn't
Men,
like it.
you what? What?
Yeah, she doesn't
Well,
like it. She doesn't like the laundry. She's like, "Thank you for doing laundry."
But I like the rest of the house clean.
Yeah.
right. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. I'm like, men, y'all
Well-
need to take a page out of this book
Well,
right here.
my love languages would be acts of service and quality time. So, and he knows that.
Yeah.
And his is
Physical touch.
physical touch, and I would say words of
Words of
affirmation would be
yeah.
second. So ours are completely
I would agree.
different.
I think Kent's probably the same thing. Physical touch, words of affirmation. I'm definitely acts of service for sure.
Yeah.
Show me.
and quality time. If I feel like everything else is good, but we aren't having that, then I still feel unbalanced. Like I still feel
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's
with
for sure.
springtime, I'm fixing to be getting a bunch of stuff done. You should feel all kinds of love.
Oh.
I
Gotta
got
get
really excited when you told me the pool was getting fixed today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we had lightning strike our pool pump at the end of the summer last year,
How
and
random.
and so we think it hit the golf course and like traveled up this wire and blew it up.
Oh,
and
wow.
It was all kinds of stuff, and we had some plumbing issues with the pump, with the pool, so we've got to spend some money on it.
That's okay though.
Yeah, we're getting
It's gonna be ready for the summer, and I'm excited.
Yay.
We're gonna redo the pergolas, so
Yep.
we're gonna have all kinds of stuff. So now we can have some get-togethers.
That's
over there
right.
this year.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been over to y'all's.
Oh yeah,
y'all's
y'all
pool.
have to come.
We have a beautiful backyard. Too.
Yeah, no,
Our-
I've seen
our
the
yard is
backyard,
ridiculous,
but
so-
I need to come experience the pool.
Yes.
So get that fixed because I clearly do not have one yet. That is
Yes.
on the 2026 wish list. So we're hoping and praying that's going to happen in 2026. We'll see.
Be good.
Going to put it into the
excited.
universe and see. Well, I really appreciate you guys. This has been a lot of fun.
Do you mind if I share one last thing?
Not at all.
I actually put this on my Facebook earlier.
Okay.
I didn't know what I was going to post today because sometimes I feel like I put too much out there. But this, when I said, what do I want to post? This just came straight into my mind. And it's actually an email that I got on the day she passed from her dance coach. And if you don't mind me reading it,
Not at all.
it says, "My memories are full. You just never know if that'll be your last time to see her dance on stage. She shines on that stage. In the classroom, she is more. She is a friend. She is a leader. She is an encourager. She'll step out of the way or lead the pack. She makes the music dance. If you didn't understand, she will gladly make sense of it for you. She moves so freely. She loves the studio time. She dances with meaning. It's her release from school. She works hard. Her favorite spot is stage left. She likes to find the big space in the room, but not the center. She's slapping bottoms. She's making jokes. She isn't taking any of it too serious. She's making music suggestions. She's a friend to everyone, eventually. She's making corrections. She's making sure everyone is listening. She isn't complaining in ballet. She smirks instantly, making eye contact as she slowly pushes the dance door open and casually yet purposefully strolls in with her oversized dance bag on her shoulder and her hair in a messy bun that she promises she'll fix in a minute. She layers her dance clothes so she can confidently peel layers off after she warms up. She never asks for a break, but if we can do it one more time. She lets me braid her hair because she knows she will turn better and spot easier if the messy bun could stop falling off her little head. All that hair, all that sass, all that sweetness. She is dancing. Not sure if it's a body roll or a tour jeté, but it's fabulous."
That's amazing.
That is a really good summary of, she just was, I called her my non-filtered child because she just put it all out there. So I love that.
It is so weird how kids can have pieces of each of us in there,
Yep.
or have nothing of us.
Yes.
Carson.
Yeah.
But no, we did good. I married way up, so we had really good kids. So
You have a really great family.
yeah, for sure.
And want people to realize that love on your people, you know.
Love on your people.
Make the memories, take the pictures,
Take the picture.
take
Have
the
the
videos.
little arguments,
Yeah.
That's right.
but just recognize that you got to be intentional about what happens after.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You know, have the arguments. Just don't die on every hill. Be intentional about fixing it after.
And keep on dancing.
Let them make
Keep
mistakes.
on dancing. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
I love you guys.
Yeah,
Love you
love
too.
y'all.